Hi there, I'm John of John's Carnivorous Plants, and today I'll be answering the question of, is Nepenthes pricing a scam? If you're paying more than $1 to $2 per seed, or more than $50 for a 3-inch plant, I think so. Keep watching to find out why. I get the question often, why are carnivorous plants so expensive? To give you a quick recap of my last video on the subject, utility costs like lighting, employee or owner compensation, and the laws of supply and demand dictate pricing. Take the typical Venus flytrap for example. They sell for around $5 to $10 in death cubes in big box stores across the US. This has been a consistent price for over a decade. Typical Venus flytraps have been steadily decreasing in value over time when you factor in inflation. This is because of processes like tissue culture that are capable of making large amounts of plants quickly. More supply and less demand means cheaper prices that nurseries can charge. Rare plants fall into two categories. The first is plants that hardly anyone knows about, are hard to find in the wild, or most people overlook them. That would include plants like Biblis. The other category are plants that are hard or difficult to keep alive, or take far too much time to grow and propagate. While there are Nepenthes that meet that second definition, you should know that many hybrids exist with similar features to those species that can easily and cheaply satisfy your needs for those plants. Take the example of Nepenthes hamada, that is $100 or more per plant, but there are many hybrids of different pictures and shapes and colors with the trademark teeth that cost $25 or less and are much easier to care for. Low supply with a high demand means prices go up naturally. However, lowland and hybrid Nepenthes are usually very easy to grow. They tend to also grow quickly. This is unlike plants like cephalotus that make you feel like you're watching paint dry. A startling fact to consider when buying any rare and difficult to keep plant is that only 10% of all houseplants survive the first year in a customer's care. Demand for highland Nepenthes comes not just from new growers, but also experienced ones who have failed and want to try again. The sad part is, that's a big reason a lot of rare plants are expensive. The pricing is a part of the nursery's business strategy. They're betting on you to fail to make more profit next year. I know a lot of you houseplant fanatics are freaking out at this statistic. You have to remember, most purchases for houseplants of any kind are usually by people with little or no care for the plant. If they fail, they'll never tell anybody about the time they killed a nearly $200 plant, usually out of embarrassment. This is especially true if it was an easy to grow plant. The other strategy nurseries will employ is to overprice plants and try to make them the next best thing. Using social media, they can get a specific plant much more attention when they're charging way more for it than its actual value. Very few people research into their purchases, especially for impulse buys like plants, and are rarely looking on other sites to see if it's cheaper elsewhere. Now, in my opinion, Nepenthes seeds are a gamble. Not only do Nepenthes seeds lose viability month over month, but you also run the risk of getting seeds that are not able to germinate. If you're looking for a particular pitcher shape, just take a look at this tray of Pediolaris sundews. This is only 4 different hybrids that I bred myself, and look at how they're all different. You have no guarantee to get the specific look you're wanting from either of the parents. Take this stripeless Nepenthes veitchii and imagine if you've waited years for a stripe that will never come. Few people have the space to grow Nepenthes to maturity, let alone the space to grow numerous seeds they produce each time they flower. We're talking hundreds to potentially thousands of seeds. Likewise, big mature specimen sized Nepenthes are rarely seen on various websites for selling plants. This is because they are hard to ship and acclimate properly without a great deal of space and experience. Originally, this video was going to be a PowerPoint presentation with a bunch of math and comparisons. However, my significant other had negative feedback to all of the math because it's boring. So here's my attempt to condense all that boring math into usable information. The gist is that Nepenthes are worth around 83 cents to $8.33 per month of growth from germination to sale. Since most plants are sold around 3 to 6 months of age, they become a money pit at any amount over $50. A mature specimen-sized Nepenthes starts at the low end of $50 and tops out at around $500 in value. Given how fast tissue culture is improving and now starting to greatly increase the amount of almost all Nepenthes species and hybrids, I cannot in good conscience recommend buying Nepenthes for over $200 of any size. Take the Philodendron Spiritus Sancti for example, that 2 years ago sold for over $14,000 and now sells on Amazon for $70. Unless you're one of the few people with space and experience to be able to maintain the large mature plants for breeding purposes, it's much better to buy a cheaper species or hybrid. To anyone who wants to argue this, particularly those with grow tents and large Nepenthes collections, I need you to ask yourself an honest question. Do you think that you could sell all the Nepenthes you have at the same time and get the same amount of money or more than what you spent for them? I know I've seen people quit the hobby, and this isn't the case. Rarely in a bulk sale will you be able to liquidate your entire Nepenthes collection, even rarer that you'll be able to get the same value value as what you paid for them. This means at the current prices most people are buying Nepenthes at, they are a money sink because of the cost of your time to care for them, the cost to keep the lights on, and the work it will take to sell them. So in conclusion, I hope you can understand my perspective that anything more than $1 to $2 per seed or buying a small plant for over $50 would be a scam. Your money could definitely go much farther if you buy from a non-predatory vendor. If you want to see more of my carnivorous plant content, please like and subscribe. If you have questions or want to angry rant, feel free to leave a comment. If you want to help support the channel, check out my website and buy a plant that has a non-predatory price. There's a link in the description. And lastly, if you want to come hang out and talk with other carnivorous plant growers, consider joining the Discord, which is also in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next one.